The desert was silent under the burning sun, sands stretched for endless miles, and nothing moved except the hot wind. In that silence, a strange shadow lay half-buried, a shape not made by nature. A group of villagers were the first to see it. They whispered in fear, calling it a demon's rock. By nightfall, the government had arrived. Soldiers circled the site, floodlights lit up the desert floor. And there it was, a massive starship wreck, scarred and broken, metal twisted like bones. The air was heavy with mystery. No human had seen such a thing before. Dr. Elias Carter, a scientist from the United Nations Space Division, stood before the wreck. His heart beat fast. He had studied stars, galaxies, and theories, but never touched something that came from the sky. "This is not just debris," he whispered. "This is history." The ship was alien, its surface covered in strange symbols glowing faintly. The wreck was silent, yet it felt alive, as if something inside still waited. Elias touched the cold metal, and for a brief moment the lights pulsed. He pulled back, shocked. The soldiers around him raised their rifles, but nothing happened. Inside the command tent, generals and scientists argued. Some wanted to destroy it before it caused danger, others demanded to study it. One officer shouted, "What if this ship calls its masters back?" Silence fell. The fear was real, but Elias leaned forward. "This wreck is more than a ship. It is a library. It is a weapon. It is a door to the future." His words unsettled the generals, but also planted curiosity. Humanity had always feared the unknown, yet had always chased it. Over the next weeks, engineers worked to open the ship. They cut through strange alloys harder than steel. Every night they found more mysteries, rooms shaped like circles, halls lined with strange crystals, broken consoles that hummed when touched. Ever they went, the stranger it became. One night, a young engineer named Sarah stayed longer than the rest. She found a chamber deep inside. In the center was a glowing core, cracked but alive. The light pulsed like a heartbeat. Sarah reached out, and when her hand touched the glass, the entire wreck trembled. Lights across the desert flickered. Machines roared to life for the first time in centuries. Soldiers panicked, shouting orders, "Shut it down." But the core calmed, humming gently like it had been waiting for someone. Rumors spread quickly. The wreck was not dead. It was sleeping. And worse, people said it responded to humans, not to machines. The generals feared this even more. If the ship had power, then it could change everything. Nations might fight for it. Wars could start over it. But Elias argued in every meeting, "We cannot fear this forever. This wreck can unite us or destroy us. If we learn from it, humanity will take its first true step into the stars." Outside, the desert grew restless. Strange signals leaked from the wreck. Satellites caught fragments of unknown codes. Some scientists believed these were distress calls. Others thought it was a warning. Somewhere far away in space, something had heard the signal, and yet no one stopped. Every day the humans dug deeper into the wreck, unlocking its secrets. What they found was terrifying. Weapons beyond imagination, engines that bent space, shields that could turn armies useless. The wreck was not just a ship, it was a megastructure built for war. One evening, Sarah stood on top of the wreck and whispered to Elias, "Why would the aliens leave this here? Broken, abandoned." Elias looked at the stars and replied, "Maybe they never meant to leave it. Maybe something forced them. Or maybe this ship is a message, one we have not yet understood." The desert winds howled that night. The wreck glowed. Faintly under the moon, humanity stood at the edge of something greater than itself. No one realized it yet, but the abandoned wreck was about to change the fate of the galaxy. Weeks passed, but the wreck kept giving new secrets. Soldiers guarded it day and night. Scientists worked without sleep. Every discovery brought more questions than answers. The ship was not just a relic, it was a living puzzle. Deep inside the wreck, Sarah and Elias returned to the glowing core. It pulsed like a beating heart. Strange lights danced across the walls. When Sarah placed her hand on the glass again, the entire wreck whispered with a sound no one understood. It was not random noise, it was language. Machines around them flickered alive. Screens showed unknown symbols. Some changed into patterns humans could read. It was as if the ship was trying to speak. Elias stared at it in awe. "It is learning us," he whispered. The soldiers looked uneasy. "Or it is tricking us," one replied. Every day, the ship responded stronger to human touch. Doors that refused to open now slid aside when Sarah approached. Systems that were dead lit up when Elias gave commands. It was impossible. How could an alien machine understand human voices? Rumors spread among the soldiers. Some said the ship was choosing its masters. Others feared it was using them. The desert camp was heavy with tension. Every night, strange lights rose from the wreck like fireflies, glowing into the sky. Satellites recorded them. Radio towers caught signals. Messages were spreading far into space. One night, the base went silent. The power failed. Lights across the desert died. Only the alien wreck glowed. From the core came a surge of energy that flowed through the entire ship. For a moment, the wreck did not look broken. It looked whole, as if time had turned backward. Sarah stumbled back, eyes wide. "It is waking up," she gasped. Elias could feel it too. The wreck was no longer just metal. It was alive. The generals rushed in, demanding it be shut down. But the scientists argued, "We cannot stop it now. We already triggered something." Then came the sound, a deep echo like thunder. It rolled across the desert, rattling every tent and every bone. The soldiers froze, scanning the sky. But the sound came from beneath their feet. The ship was speaking, not in words, but in vibrations, in pulses. Elias translated with trembling voice. "It is calling. It is calling something." The general shouted orders to prepare defenses, but they were too late. Space telescopes had already detected movement. Unidentified objects were entering the solar system, dozens of alien ships, fast and powerful. They had heard the call, they were coming back. Panic swept through the camp. Some wanted to abandon the wreck, others screamed to destroy it before the aliens arrived. But Sarah stood firm. "If they are coming for this ship, then we need it more than ever. Without it, we are powerless." Elias agreed with Sarah. "This is not a curse. This is a chance. If we can master this wreck before they arrive, humanity will stand, not crawl." The wreck's core pulsed again, brighter than ever. Shadows stretched long in the desert, and for the first time the humans realized the truth. The aliens had not abandoned this starship by mistake. They left it here for a reason. And now, that reason was about to reveal itself. The night sky burned with falling stars. Enemy ships cutting through space. Earth had only days, maybe hours. Humanity's destiny now depended on the broken wreck beneath the sand. The alien fleet was still days away, but fear had already spread across every human heart. Governments argued, cities prepared shelters, and armies waited for orders. Yet in the desert, where the wreck slept, humanity's only hope began to awaken. Inside the starship, the core pulsed with a rhythm that matched Sarah's heartbeat. She stood before it, trembling. "It knows me," she whispered. Elias placed his hand near hers, and again the ship responded. Panels lit up, symbols shifted into human letters, and for the first time, the ship gave a message. Pilot recognized. The scientists froze. Soldiers tightened their grips on rifles. The wreck had chosen, and it chose a human, Elias whispered. "It accepts us, not as thieves, but as heirs." His words filled the room with both hope and terror. If the ship accepted humans, it meant humans could command it, but it also meant the aliens who built it had lost their claim long ago. As days passed, systems inside the wreck began repairing themselves. Broken walls sealed, engines hummed, weapons chambers revealed long dormant cannons. It was like the ship had been waiting centuries for someone to bring it back to life. Each sunrise showed new progress. The wreck slowly turned into a war machine again. But there was a cost. The more the humans woke the ship, the louder its signals became. Across the night sky, satellites recorded the strange pulses, a warning, a challenge, an announcement. Earth was no longer hidden. It was shouting into the galaxy. In secret, Elias confessed to Sarah, "This ship is not just waking, it is testing us. It wants to know if humanity is strong enough to bear its power." Sarah clenched her fist. "Then we must prove it, before the aliens arrive." One night, the camp was shaken by an explosion. A nearby generator had failed, but witnesses swore it was no accident. A group of soldiers tried to sabotage the wreck, fearing it would bring only destruction. They placed charges near the core, but before the bombs could ignite, the ship defended itself. A wall of pure energy burst out, throwing the saboteurs back without killing them. Everyone stared in silence. The wreck was no longer just a machine, it had instincts. The generals panicked. "This is too dangerous. We cannot control it," they cried. But Sarah stepped forward, voice steady. "It does not fear us. It protects itself. That means it is alive, and it has chosen to live with us." The core pulsed brighter than ever, flooding the chamber with light. The wreck's voice shook the air again, but this time the words were clear. "Prepare." Above Earth, telescopes tracked the alien fleet drawing closer. Dozens of warships, each larger than a city. Earth's defenses were nothing compared to them. And yet, deep in the desert, the broken wreck turned its engines toward the sky, roaring back to life. The humans who had once feared the ship now watched in awe. It was no longer a wreck. It was a sleeping giant rising from the sand, and it had chosen humanity to awaken it. But Elias knew the truth that others tried to ignore. The aliens were not coming to reclaim their ship. They were coming to destroy it. And everything that dared to touch it, the countdown to war had begun. Humanity's fate now rested on the bond between a broken alien warship and the humans it had chosen. The sky above Earth grew restless. Strange lights flickered across the night. The alien fleet had entered the solar system, moving with the silence of predators. Telescopes showed their shadows gliding past Saturn, massive ships shaped like blades and beasts. Humanity had never felt so small. World leaders gathered in panic. Some demanded surrender, others shouted for war. But in the desert, the wrecked Starship kept rising. Its once broken hull now glowed with human repairs mixed with alien light. The world held its breath as the impossible happened. A dead relic was reborn. The first alien message arrived. It echoed across every channel, across every screen, a voice cold and sharp. "Return what is ours, or Earth will be erased." The words chilled billions of humans. For the first time, Earth stood face to face with its cosmic masters. Inside the command tent, silence reigned. The generals argued, "We cannot win. Their fleet outnumbers everything we own." But Sarah looked at the glowing ship outside. "Maybe we cannot win with our weapons, but with this, we have a chance," Elias agreed. "This is not their ship anymore. It has chosen us." That night, the desert trembled. The alien fleet had sent scouts, fast black warships that entered Earth's orbit. Their presence caused storms in the upper atmosphere. Lightning cracked across the skies. For the first time in history, Earth's armies prepared to defend not just their land, but their entire world. Soldiers lined the desert, tanks rolled into position, missiles aimed at the heavens. Yet they all knew the truth. Human weapons would mean nothing against the aliens. The real power lay in the wreck, and the wreck was still changing. When Sarah stepped inside the control chamber, the ship awakened with full force. The symbols on the walls shifted into maps of the galaxy, star systems glowing like fireflies. At the center was Earth, highlighted in burning red. Elias understood at once. "They are coming straight here. They will not stop." The ship responded to Sarah's voice. Engines hummed, weapons charged. A sound like thunder rolled across the desert. As the warship stretched its wings of steel, soldiers dropped their weapons in awe. This was no longer a wreck, it was a beast, reborn for battle. The alien scouts entered the atmosphere, burning trails across the night sky. Missiles launched but vanished against their shields. Panic filled the desert base. Yet the alien warship, now fused with human command, rose into the air. Its cannons glowed like suns. "Fire," Sarah whispered. The wreck obeyed. Beams of pure energy shot into the sky, cutting across the clouds. The alien scouts shattered like glass, their wreckage falling in burning rain. Humanity roared in triumph. For the first time, they had struck back. But victory was brief. The alien fleet was still days away, far larger and far deadlier. Elias stared at the stars and whispered, "They will come with everything they have." Sarah tightened her fists. "Then we will show them everything we are." In that moment, Earth was no longer waiting to die. It was preparing to fight. The abandoned wreck had become a megaship of war, and its first roar had shaken the galaxy. The desert was no longer silent. It thundered with the sound of engines not of Earth. The wrecked Starship, once a broken shell, now rose like a titan from the sand. Its hull glowed with a mix of alien alloys and human steel plates, scars replaced by strength. The world watched live broadcasts in shock. Humanity had forged an alien relic into a war machine. Inside the command chamber, Sarah stood at the center. Her voice echoed through the ship, every system obeying as if she had been born for this. The symbols on the walls no longer shifted into chaos. They responded instantly. Maps, weapons, shields, all aligned under her command. The wreck had accepted her as its pilot. Elias studied the consoles with awe. This ship is not just repaired, it is evolving with us. It is rewriting itself to match humanity. His words carried both hope and fear. If the ship could change, it could become something even the aliens had never seen. Alarms blared across the desert. More alien scouts entered orbit, not 2, not 3, but dozens. They moved in formation, their black hulls glowing with deadly fire. Humanity's armies aimed missiles and cannons at the sky, but they knew only one weapon mattered now. "Engage," Sarah commanded. The ship roared in answer. Engines erupted. Dust storms tore across the desert as the massive warship lifted into the heavens. Soldiers on the ground saluted, their faces glowing with hope for the first time. The alien scouts swooped down like hawks. Their weapons cut through the air, blazing fire into Earth's skies. But the human-forged megaship moved like a predator. Shields shimmered around it, beams of energy struck out, tearing alien ships apart in flashes of fire. Billions watched the battle unfold on their screens. Children in cities cheered, leaders in bunkers stared with wide eyes. For the first time in history, humanity had power that matched the stars. Yet even in victory, a shadow grew. Far beyond the orbit of Mars, the main fleet was arriving, hundreds of colossal warships, each one larger than Earth's cities. They carried weapons older than human history. Elias clenched his fists. "We cannot face them yet. We are not ready." Sarah looked at the glowing core, steady and fearless. "We do not have time to be ready. We either stand now, or Earth will never stand again." The ship responded to her determination. Its hull shifted, hidden compartments opening, revealing weapons no human had seen before. Cannons that bent light, missiles that split into swarms, shields that rippled like waves of water. The transformation was complete. The wreck was no longer a relic. It was a galactic superweapon reborn under human hands, but in the silence of deep space, the alien fleet advanced. Their message came again, colder, sharper. "Surrender, or we will burn your world." The generals trembled, but Sarah's voice cut through the fear. "This is our world, and we will never bow." The megaship's engines blazed like suns as it rose higher, breaking through Earth's skies, heading into the void. Humanity's fate was no longer tied to Earth alone. It was tied to the stars. The transformation was complete. The real war was about to begin. The stars above Earth burned brighter as the alien fleet drew near. Hundreds of warships shaped like blades and serpents filled the black sky. Their engines glowed with power older than human history. Against them rose a single warship, once broken, now reborn, forged by human hands and alien fire. Inside the command chamber, Sarah's eyes burned with determination. The ship's systems glowed around her. Maps of the galaxy stretched across the walls. "They are here," Elias whispered. His voice carried fear but also a spark of awe. The first wave of alien ships entered orbit. Their weapons lit the skies. Like falling stars, Earth trembled as their beams struck the upper atmosphere, burning holes of fire. Humanity's defenses, missiles, cannons, satellites, unleashed everything, but the enemy shields shimmered like glass, untouched. Then Sarah gave the order, "Engage." The megaship roared as its cannons came alive. Energy beams brighter than suns sliced through space. The first alien destroyer shattered in an explosion that lit the night. Cheers erupted across Earth. For the first time, the galaxy saw humans strike back. But the victory was brief. The alien fleet closed in from all sides. Dozens of ships circled Earth, their formation tight, their weapons endless. The human warship danced among them, moving faster than anything that size should move. Its shields rippled under fire, but they held. Sarah pushed the ship harder. Her hands gripped the glowing console. The core pulsed with her heartbeat. The ship was no longer a machine. It was alive with her. "We are one," she whispered, and the wreck responded, opening new weapons no human had unlocked. Blades of pure energy unfolded from the hull. Missiles that bent gravity streaked into the void. Entire squadrons of alien fighters fell like meteors. The galaxy had never seen such power from Earth, but the aliens did not break. Their largest warship advanced, a titan so massive it blotted out the stars. Its voice thundered across every human channel. "You are children playing with fire. Return what is ours or be destroyed." The generals on Earth begged Sarah to retreat. "We cannot risk everything on one ship," they cried. But Sarah only tightened her jaw. "This is not just one ship. This is humanity." Elias looked at her, his eyes wide. "If you fail, Earth will burn," Sarah answered with steel in her voice. "Then we cannot fail." The alien Titan fired, a beam of energy so powerful it split the night sky in half. The megaship's shields screamed, alarms blared. For a moment, everyone believed it was over, but then the ship's core erupted in light. A second shield, brighter, stronger, flared alive, forged by the bond between ship and pilot. The Titan staggered back as the human warship countered. A storm of weapons tore across space. Energy collided with energy. The void between Earth and the stars became a battlefield of fire and thunder. Billions on Earth watched in silence. Some cried, some prayed, but none looked away. Humanity had entered its first galactic war, and it had begun not with surrender, but with defiance. The battle had only just started, and already legends were being born. The battlefield above Earth burned with endless fire. Alien ships swarmed like predators, their weapons tearing the sky apart. At the center stood the human-forged megaship, glowing like a second sun. Its hull was cracked, its shields trembling, yet it refused to fall. Sarah stood firm in the command chamber. Her voice was steady, though her body shook. The ship's core pulsed with her heartbeat. Elias shouted readings. "Shields are at their limit, engines overheating." Yet Sarah's eyes never left the giant alien Titan before them. The alien warlord's voice thundered again. "You are fragile, you are nothing, you cannot fight the galaxy." His words echoed across every human device, but Sarah answered. Her voice carried through the ship, broadcast to Earth and beyond. "We are humanity. We rise when others fall. We fight when others surrender. You left this wreck to rot, but we turned it into our blade." The megaship responded with fury. Weapons flared brighter than stars. Entire squadrons of alien fighters vanished in bursts of fire. The Titan fired again, a beam that could have shattered a moon. But this time the human warship did not block. It moved, bending space itself. The beam split harmlessly into the void. Elias gasped. "It used the engines to twist reality itself." Sarah gripped the console tighter. "Then let's show the..."